Hey YouTube, this is Braden with Assorted Meatballs. Today I am going to be doing an unboxing for one of the latest Red Dragon Inn Kickstarters, Piper vs. Ripsnarl. I got the collector's edition of the Kickstarter and it arrived earlier this week, so I'm real excited to open it up and take a look at the decks as well as the other goodies that they include in the collector's edition. Alright, so it came in this nice box here. I'm going to go ahead and get that opened up. See if we can find a good place to get this cut open. There we go. Anything else in here? Awesome. Alright. Go ahead and free this from its lovely plastic. And we will take a look at what is inside. Alright, let's get this cracked open here. We got a nice insert. Rule sheet. Alright, we've got our first player board here for Piper, the Archer, and Ripsnarl, the Bad Dog. Those look pretty nice. We don't always have enough of these nice fancy aftermarket wood boards to work with, so having sheets for the individual characters is pretty solid. We've got some punch-out cards to kind of divide the characters in the deck. Love the artwork on this game. A lot of work clearly goes into it. Okay, looks like we've got some more punch-outs. Got some coins and some life and alcohol punch-outs here. Pretty nice. Alright, let's see what else we've got in the box here. Looks like we've got a prize card, and I think these are our promo drinks. So we'll go have a look at these real quick. Okay, for a prize card, we've got the Swill Bucket. Next time you would gain alcohol content from a drink, add this card to the prize bin and reduce the alcohol content of the drink by 1. Pretty cool. We've got the Wolfsbane Tonic, good for 2 alcohol content. The effects of this drink may be, or may not be, altered by sometimes cards, except for cards that negate or ignore a drink. Seems pretty good. And we've got the Hunter's Hooch, good for 3 alcohol content. Put this card in front of you. The next time you play an action card that would cause fortitude loss, discard this card. Your action card gains effects that ignore this fortitude loss or reduce it to 0. Instead, reduce it to 1. That is definitely a mouthful, but an interesting drink nonetheless. Let's see what else we've got in here. We've got, looks like a Silver Knuckles prize card. The next time you play an action or sometimes card that causes fortitude loss, add 1 to that fortitude loss and then add this prize to the prize bin. So this is actually a prize card, but you have a metal token for it, and it tells you what it does on the side here. I'll bring it up a little closer so that you can see it. That's really cool, actually. I kind of wish they did this for all the prize cards. It kind of adds an extra little bit of authenticity, and it'll go real well with the metal coins that we use for this game, so that's really cool. Nice and hefty, too. That's some good material. Alright. Looks like we've got Ripsnarl's deck and Piper's deck here. And it looks like we've got another prize card in Piper's deck. So we'll go ahead and get that opened up here. Make sure there's not anything else in the box. We set that aside. Alright. get this opened up here. Get our trusty scissors again to kind of carefully work our way through it. Make some entryway out of the plastic. Oh, and it actually looks like I'm making this harder on myself than is necessary, as in typical fashion, I missed the pull tab. There we go. Alright, let's see what we got. So our prize card is a bag of holding. Whenever you win this prize, you put any number of cards from your hand face down under it. At the start of your next action phase, add this card to the prize bin and return all cards under it to your hand. So you can use this to basically load up a super hand. Generally speaking, prize cards only show up as a variant rule where you can add them to a round of gambling. Basically, the person who initiates can pick a prize card from the bank and throw it in. That's a really powerful one. Being able to set aside 6 to 7 cards early in the game and come back with a 14 card hand after your discard and draw, yeah, that seems pretty good. Alright, so we'll go ahead and clear this off here. So we can take a look at the cards in the decks real quick, kind of see what they're about. Alright. It looks like Piper has a bit of an extra deck here. So I'm going to grab her insert real quick. Alright. Shuffle your quiver and place it next to your player mat. Draw 1 card from your quiver and 6 from your character deck as your starting hand. During your discard and draw phase, your first draw comes from your quiver. During your action phase, you may play 1 action card from your hand or as many arrow action cards as you like. Arrows with the subtype sometimes may be played like normal sometimes cards. Your hand size is still 7 and arrow cards still count toward that. If your quiver runs out, don't reshuffle it. You simply play the rest of the game without drawing any more arrows. So that's actually a pretty unique concept. You basically have 2 decks. You have Piper's regular deck, and then you have Piper's quiver. And then at the start of your turn, when you're discarding and drawing up, or at the start of the game, you're always going to make sure that the first card you draw at the start of your turn is from the quiver, and then draw back up to 7. That's actually a pretty slick little premise, and much like a typical archer, you have a finite amount of arrows, so once they're gone, they're gone. So we'll go ahead and start with the arrow deck real quick, see kind of what we've got to look forward to. We've got the arrow ring. Pick another player, they lose a fortitude. And then if they lose fortitude, the next player in turn order loses a fortitude. Repeat the process until either someone doesn't or the next person who loses out would be you. That's pretty cool. And I'm not going to read all of these, but I'll read out any of the more interesting ones. We'll kind of showcase the art down here. Pick another player, they pay you a gold, draw an arrow card for the Shero. Gotta love the punniness. Flaro, pick another player, they lose 3 fortitude and you pay a gold to the inn. Another table, well, I love the art in this game. I know I've said that already, but it really is true. They do such a fantastic job. Looking at the cards is almost as fun as playing them, if not more so. A Harrow, pick another player. You and that player each lose a fortitude and draw an arrow card. I don't know why we would shoot one of those, but that thing looks terrifying. Looks like we've got a pretty good variety of different arrows in the quiver here, so this actually seems really good. Plus, the ability to play as many arrows out of your hand in a turn as you want is pretty solid. This is the Elsewhere-o. Ignore an action sometimes or anytime card that affects your fortitude, which is why the card is blank. The Millionaire-o. Gain a gold from the inn. Necessero. Draw 2 arrow cards. That's a Swiss Army arrow if ever I saw one. Good grief. Alright, let's see kind of what we're looking at with Piper's deck here. I have a feeling she is a gambler. Yeah, she's almost certainly a gamble deck. A lot of gambling cards there. Some of our traditional ones: tip the wench, bring drinks for friends. I don't think so. Wench thinks you should stop playing with the drinks. Let's see. Draw an arrow card. Player losing 2 fortitude for the string breaking. Okay. Something that goes for gold. It looks like each other player pays you a gold. More gambling cards for negating cheating cards and getting arrows. Ignoring gambling when it's not convenient. We'll kind of bring these back up here so they can be seen a little better. Use gold from the inn. Ha! I never miss a shot. Ignore a drink. That's funny because there are shots of alcohol on the card. No thanks, I'm good. Negate a sometimes card that would give a drink to you, split a drink with you, or change the effects of a drink. Okay. So a lot of ignore cards in here. These ignore cards that impact fortitude. This gains a fortitude. This retaliates from fortitude loss. So this deck is very much designed for gambling, attacking fortitude, and avoiding conflict. So nice little combination of cards. Reminds me of the Bard a little bit from way back. So we'll go ahead and set these to the side here. And then we'll go ahead and open up Ripsnarl's deck, Human Werewolf. I'm sure this will go well. See if we can get the pull tab opened up. They did a much better job hiding the pull tab on this one. Corner it is then. Just about got this opened up here. Pull tab on this deck did not have a particularly good spot. There we go. I finally extricated it. Okay, so for Ripsnarl, put your square form marker near your player mat with its human side up. Put your fury tokens nearby. Many cards in Ripsnarl's deck tell you to turn human or turn wolf. When this happens, turn your form marker to the appropriate side. Some of Ripsnarl's cards have a different effect depending on your form when the card resolves. Some cards also give Ripsnarl Fury while he is a human. When you gain Fury, you track it with Fury tokens on your form marker. You may have up to 3 Fury on your form marker, and then when Ripsnarl turns into a wolf, remove all Fury tokens from your form marker. Each Fury removed may be used to make a player lose 1 Fortitude. These effects may target the same player or different players and count as though they came from sometimes cards played from your hand. 1 card per player targeted. That can get pretty obnoxious really quickly. Let's see what we've got here. Make sure this is all the deck, because I could have sworn they mentioned something about a Voss deck, but maybe not. Maybe that's not in here. No, this is quite a bit taller than Piper's deck, but we'll roll with it. We'll see what we've got here. Alright. Look over there, a vampire. A cheating card for taking control of gambling. Another take control round of gambling. Let's see. Curse these frail human hands. Turn human, pick another player. They lose 2 fortitude and gain 2 fury. Feel like Ripsnarl might be another fortitude attacker. And a really good one at that. Gain a fury while you're human. This one attacks gold. Let's see, these all look like they've got the ability to help you get out of things. Not now, I'm sharpening my claws. Lets you skip anteing and leave the round of gambling. Hey, where'd the hairy guy go? Ignore an action sometimes anytime card that affects fortitude, alcohol content, or gold, but cannot ignore gambling. I'll save this for a little hair of the dog. Oh, Slugfest. Looks like you can either reduce alcohol content and gain fury as a human, or reduce alcohol content by 2 instead of 1 if you're a wolf, and then turn human. Add alcohol content to a drink you're about to drink. If you gain alcohol content, each other player pays you a gold. Now, Ripsnarl definitely looks like fortitude and gold matter a lot so far. There are also a lot of cards in here that have the turn wolf or turn human effect, so it does look like if you're careful with how you play your hand, you will be able to leverage both sides of Ripsnarl's abilities quite effectively, which is good to see. Let's see, add alcohol to a drink. And you can either gain fury or add the effect gain 2 fortitude to that drink. Well, Ripsnarl looks like he's designed to be a bruiser and to deal with gambling a fair bit. There's definitely a lot more depth in this deck and a lot of strategy to consider when you're playing it. There's also a lot of cards to kind of duck out of various predicaments in the game. Alcohol, fortitude loss, gold loss. It kind of looks like you want to stay out of the fray a lot until you can build up and really hit someone back. Or just spread some damage around with fury, kind of whittle the table down little by little. But with the ability to turn fury into damage, it looks like a lot of Ripsnarl's cards can stack up for 3 or 4 damage at a crack, so definitely one of the more effective damage dealers you'll run into. Let's see if at any time to change form. I don't think so. Here we go. It looks like we've found some of our standards again. Wench thinks you should stop playing with the drinks. Get the wench. More drinks for these fiends. Couple winning hands. Couple raises. Dog pile. Lose a fortitude, but each other player loses 2 fortitude. Good grief. Definitely a deck that specializes in whittling down the table. We've got a few gambling cards. Looks like we've got 5 gambling I'm in here. And I don't think so. Let's see. Another avoid. Take control of a round of gambling, and the player who was previously in control of the round loses a fortitude. That's a cheating card if ever I saw one. Good grief. Oh, and there are 2 of them. Wow, you can't make this dog lie down. Change form and draw 2 cards from your character deck or gain 2 fortitude as an anytime card. Good grief. There's 2 of those too. Yeah, let's see here. We've got giving a drink away. We'll straighten our pile here. We're starting to make a bit of a mess. A lot of card draw, which is a little scary with how much damage this deck can deal. Oh, this must be... Is this the boss deck? Is that what I'm misunderstanding here? These are all bordered a little differently. Some of these really powerful ones that are coming out. I bet they're the boss deck. Yeah, they've absolutely got to be the boss deck. Okay, that makes more sense. That's why these are so much stronger than some of the things that we've seen to this point. So these aren't supposed to be included in the main deck. This is if you play the boss variant of the game. Let's see, pick another player. They lose 3 fortitude. Good grief. Another ignore card with extra benefits. The boss deck does not play around. Good heavens. A lot of card draw in the boss deck, so they're basically amping this up to make this deck as dangerous as possible. First rule of villainy, crush your rivals. Each other player discards a sometimes card from their hand unless they reveal a hand with no sometimes cards. Each other player loses a fortitude. This card can't be negated or ignored. Yeah, that boss deck is vicious. Definitely a good thing that those aren't included in the standard deck. That would be more than a little busted. But that concludes the contents of the box here. Overall, I'm really excited to get a chance to play with these 2 decks. They both seem like they're really good. One is very clearly suited for people who like to play a wait-and-see game. I admit I'm one of those people. And the other one seems like it's really good for players who really just like to get their claws dirty and get into all-out bar brawls. Can't imagine anyone in our play group would ever love that deck. And as always, thank you for watching this unboxing video. It's been a pleasure opening this box up and showing off the contents for y'all. And we'll see you for our next game night or stream. Check out where you can find us in the description below.
If you like what you just saw, please support us by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel for more great gaming content.